Hi guys, it's Miguel here and welcome back to CBMPC TV. Today we're going to be taking a look at the contents of this box, which, if it's not frighteningly obvious what is in this box, you need to get your eyes tested. So this is the Tokyo Marui Keltec KSG shotgun. This one belongs to a teammate of mine called Standin, who's just getting back into the game, and he's picked this up as his main weapon. I'm very excited to take a look at this because, as you all know, I'm a big fan of shotguns based on all the AA-12 action that I get up to and the plethora of spring shotguns I've got knocking about. So this has been on my list of guns to get my hand on for a long while. So, as always, the Tokyo Marui have outdone themselves with this box. It feels nice. It's got a nice little gold circle. And it's got some really nice graphics on here, but we're not here to look at a box, are we? So let's open this bad boy up. Inside, as you come to expect from Tokyo Marui, look at that box. It looks fantastic. The weapon is actually secured really well in there. Looks good. If I was a graphic design student, I'd probably have a hard-on over this box, but I'm not. So let's look at a shotgun instead, yeah? So we picked this one up from Fuboy Bundy. See a few patches just there. There's going to be a link to the shop in the description of the video if you want to pick one of these up for yourself. Yeah, let's get this bad boy out of here. We'll look at the accessories in the box first. It does come with a single 30-round Tokyo Marui shot shell. Now these are exactly the same as the classic red or green shotgun shells you'd expect to see from the old Tokyo Marui Benelli M3, SPAS 12 or the M203. So that's there. Inside this little box is the gas reservoir. This is the detachable gas tank, and this is what's going to power the actual shotgun. So it uses the same the same tri-shot system as the Benelli M3 and the SPAS 12, but instead of a big heavy spring that you've got to pull back, it's gas powered. So gas tank. And obviously up front here you've got a little box with butt plugs and balls and the front sight adjustment tool. But I'm assuming everybody who buys this gun is just going to leave that little box just there, so that's what we'll do. We'll just put them back there. Now onto the main deal. The manual, for those looking for the manual, is actually in the lid of the box just there. It comes with a couple of targets and your usual sort of pseudo English instructions that you can't really understand, but it's got big pictures. Anyway, let's pull out these little Velcro things and take out the KSG. Straight away, it's very plasticky. Actually, no, that's metal. That's metal. The rails are metal. Oh, the lower rail is polymer, and it's actually built into the foregrip. The build quality is as you would expect from a Tokyo Marui. It's like an Akinori brick. Feels really nice, and straight away that gives you wood. Let's take a look at the features. As you would expect, it's got a big robust trigger. It's made out of plastic, but it feels quite solid. And the safety catch is just here right above your trigger finger, and it is all the way to the right for fire, and it's very obvious it's on fire, and you push it all the way back for safe. And obviously it has a massive white S for safe, so it's easy to tell if you're in safe or fire. I'm assuming that'll be really easy to see even in low light. It's very bright. Up top you've got two-stage sights, so similar to the MP7. When they're down you've got the pistol style sight and you can flip them up. There's no spring or anything, it's just lift up like the MP7 sights. And you have rifle style sights, and these are windage and elevation adjustable, and it has a little notch to show exactly where middle is, so if you do mess around with your sights or somebody winds them up with the side, you know where to put them back to default. Just around the muzzle of the shotgun is a metal ring, which when removed actually hides a thread. Now it's quite a large thread, much bigger than that of an AEG, but I'm assuming you can buy some muzzle brakes, like the breeching muzzle brake for instance, just to screw on over this, just to add to the aesthetics of the shotgun. In fact, it would be fantastic to find some kind of sound hog or sound amplifier to go on this, just to increase the muzzle report and
make the scare factor of the shotgun tenfold.
There are a few controls on here that are only dummy controls, which would be a real control on the real weapon system, but aren't on here. Like this little tab just here is the pump release catch. So on the real one, if you'd actually pumped it, you can't pump it twice. And if you wanted to actually eject a shell without firing it, you'd hit this and you could actually rack the shell, the pump. But this replica doesn't have that option. Up back here, there are 2 magazine tubes. Now, on the real shotgun, you can hold, I think it's 7 shells in each tube, so a total of like 14 shells. And to choose left or right magazine tube, you flick between these two, and I believe the center is for loading. Now, this is just there purely for aesthetics because the real shotgun has one. It does absolutely nothing. The pump grip has a 20mm Picatinny rail just on the bottom, which is ideal for putting a little foregrip on there and a flashlight, because you are going to be using this in a CQB environment, and let's face it, it's going to be dark as fuck and you're going to need a flashlight. On top, you have another 20mm rail with your iron sights, which are removable. If I was running this, I'd probably put an EOTech up there because they look pretty Gucci, and then my camera system's up front. Yeah, it looks really nice. Foregrip, everything about this gun speaks quality. It's really, really fantastically built. With the standard Tokyo Marui spring tri-shot system, you can only fire 3 rounds at once. With the KSG, you can remove this little plastic tab, and just up here there is actually a very stiff switch, which in the rear position, that loads 3 shots. If you put it in the forward position, that loads 6 shots. But bear in mind, you're going to get less power output firing 6 BBs than you are firing 3, and you're also going to get less trigger pulls per magazine. The shell magazine holds 30 rounds, which is equivalent of 10 shots. So we can say if you're doubling the amount of BBs you're putting out, you're halving the amount of shots you get out of a shell. So you're probably going to get 4 or 5 pumps out of each one of these shells, which isn't too bad if you're in CQB, and if you've got 38 of these shells just knocking about, you can still get balls deep. Let's talk about loading the shotgun. There's 2 magazine tubes, like I mentioned. The one closest to you is actually a dummy tube for storing 2 shotgun shells. So that's the tube on the left, which you can access just here, and you can push 2 spare shells in there, and you can release them like so. The tube on the right, which you push the rounds in like that, only holds 1 shotgun shell and is the actual magazine tube that loads BBs into the system. Now, when you've spent your shell, you just pull back on this little tab and it's spring loaded. It just pops right out. So if you hold it upwards, it's just going to pop straight out into the ejection port here, and you can take it out and put a fresh one in. Pretty interesting design, and it's probably going to take quite a bit of practice to get that down to where we can reload it super quick, but I can't see it being too much of an issue. Like we mentioned earlier, this is a gas-powered shotgun, and this is the gas reservoir. It holds enough gas for approximately 75 trigger pulls. So that's a pretty good average sort of engagement in a CQB game. But I would recommend probably having 2 or 3 of these just in your plate carrier or wherever, because it's always good to carry backup gas supplies, especially in colder months when you're going to get less shots because the gas is colder. But installing this into the actual shotgun is a little bit tricky. So it goes in there, and to do it you've got to pull the butt plate off, which is a little bit stiff. I mean, you can do it if you've got some nails, like it took me 5 seconds then, but if you're being shot at, it might be quite tricky. Now, when you're actually inserting this, the larger gas valve goes to the top, you put it in and push it all the way in until it clicks. Make sure you push it in all the way till it clicks, because if it doesn't click, it can pop straight back out because of the gas pressure, and then just replace the butt pad. Then you're pretty much live. You can it sounds really nice, and you can actually feel a little bit of a resonance just up here against your face when you actually fire it. So yeah, quite a nice looking gun, and it seems to perform quite well on gas. So let's take it over to the range and see what we can do. So this is the shooting test for the Keltec KSG. We're using 0.2 gram BBs. It's on the tri-shot setting, and we are at about 30 meters. We're shooting at the standard ipsc style target, and we're going to see what happens. So taking a look here, I was aiming right here at this A. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 actually on the paper. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, there's 11. So we're back here now with the Keltec KSG. Again, we're using 0.2 gram BBs and I believe it's neutral green gas. Firing again at the same target, 30 meters, but this time on the 6-round buckshot. So, shell in there, weapons live. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on paper this time. Actually, 10, 11, this looks like another one here, so 12. So that's 12 on paper, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's that one, 9 on the cardboard. For the final shooting test, we're going to be testing it with 6mm ammos, 0.25 gram BBs. We're going to be firing again at the same 30 meter range using neutral green gas. So these are going to hit a little harder. Let's see how it goes. Again, 5 shots, and it's on tri-shot again. One, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we're getting some like gas spatter or something on here as well. Like weird little marks. 5 on paper. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on cardboard. We're going to do one more little test. What I'm going to do here is just spam 3 shells downrange using the tri-shot, but I'm going to actually put 2 spare shells in the second magazine tube. Now you can load spare shells in on this left-hand side. I think you're going to have it set there. So there's 1, there's 2, and then you can load the third into the right-hand magazine tube, which then feeds rounds into the gun. So what I'm going to do is empty the 10 shots out of the first one, ditch that shell, then I'm going to get a shell from the second tube and put it into the first tube and carry on shooting. We're going to see if this is fast and a suitable way of reloading the gun. I think it's going to be a bit fiddly, but we'll see. So again, we're using 6mm ammo, 0.25 gram rounds, 30 meter target, and this is neutral green gas. Let's do this. Straight away it's a little bit tricky. There we go, yeah, if it gets jammed up, put it back in the tube and try it again. So yeah, that's shitloads of fun just spamming rounds with this. We'll definitely do a little bit more of that in a minute. There we have it, the Keltec KSG by Tokyo Marui. This is going to be an absolute CQB demon, probably on par with the AA-12, with that 6 shots as well. Might even beat the AA-12. So I think we're going to have to do an AA-12 versus KSG video in the near future. But yeah, I'm very, very impressed with this. The build quality, the action, the way it fires, everything feels just right. Like I said, reloading it, it's something you're going to have to get the hang of. There's definitely a knack to it. And I think tucking it in here and doing this, but maybe, or flipping it round and doing the sort of practical shooting reload, I don't know. But definitely a lot of training is going to have to be done with this weapon system to become really competent with it. But I think in the right hands, in the right CQB environment, this is a real dick kicker. Can't think of a better way to describe it. Somebody's going to get shot in the balls with this and go home crying. True story. So if you're interested in picking up one of these Keltec KSGs, we grabbed this one from Fubai Bunde for $375, I believe. I'd head over there and talk to Steve, see if we can get one in stock, because he's selling like hotcakes as far as I know. We were pretty lucky to turn up and this was just there on the day. But this absolute CQB monster for those CQB enthusiasts. I cannot wait to get out there with my AA-12 and go up against this thing. I think that's going to be a fantastic video. So hit subscribe and you'll be notified when that craziness goes live. Don't forget to hit that little alarm bell as well, because then you will actually be notified when it goes live. If you found this interesting or you've learned anything from this review, hit like and leave some abuse down in the comments box below. And share the fuck out of this video. Put it on all your favourite social medias. I don't know, Facebook, Instagram, Tinder. Show it to a guy on the bus sat next to it. He's sat in between you and the window. He can't get out. You can show him this video and he has to watch it. True story. Don't show the bus driver though, because if you're like, oh man, have a look at this, he's going to crash the bus. And I don't want that on my conscience. So think smart. Anyway, this is CBMPC TV. I'm Magaz. Thanks for watching. And remember kids, the air may be soft, but our balls are hard. Don't forget you can also check out these other things.